Heya Cryptozens. For tonight's show, we have got a whirlwind tour of crypto exchange news, and we have our Crypto Job Watch segment. It's 10 p.m. Pacific. The date is June 23rd, 2022. Welcome back to the Crypto Overnighter. My name is Nicodemus, and I'll be your host. The cover model, mascot, and co-host for this podcast is Tex, and together we take a nightly look at the crypto, NFT, and metaverse space and the industry that surrounds it. So take a minute, go ahead and subscribe to the podcast now, because we're here at 10 p.m. each night so that when you leave in the morning, you're taking with you the crypto news analysis that you need to start your day. And keep in mind, nothing in this show should ever be considered financial advice. Lots of exchange-related news in the air lately, so I thought I'd just kind of gather them all together, take a look at them, and see what's up. And I got the idea today because I saw an idea by the fine sir that runs the Altcoin podcast. He asked the question, the hell is CoinFLEX? So let's take a look. CoinFLEX is a US-based exchange. So about 2 months ago, in a recent press release, they billed themselves as, quote, America's first exchange to offer zero-fee trading and an interest-earning stablecoin. Now, as mentioned, they are offering a interest-bearing stablecoin, the FLEX USD. Now, there's zero fees to mint FLEX USD, and they offer a one-to-one exchange with USDC or USD. Oh, and a zero-fee spot trading. So they were a spinoff from CoinFloor. Now, CoinFLEX, by the way, means Coin Futures and Lending Exchange. Mark Lamb is CEO of CoinFLEX. He announced that the company was pausing withdrawals due to what? Extreme market conditions. And a certain somebody who shall remain nameless, now they did specifically say it wasn't Three Arrows Capital or any other lending firm, which I guess is the thing you have to say these days, right? So here's what he said, quote, due to extreme market conditions last week and continued uncertainty involving a counterparty, today we are announcing that we are pausing all withdrawals. We fully expect to resume withdrawals in a better position as soon as possible. We will fully communicate with you as we find out more. And then it was after that he made mention that specifically wasn't Three Arrows Capital or anybody else that was lending that owed them money. So they're halting their trading in both spot and perps. Now they're giving an estimate of when withdrawals can resume. The estimate is the 30th of June. It's planning on an update on the 27th, so Monday of next week. To be clear, you can continue to trade. And of course, they will happily take your money, so you can continue to deposit, but you cannot get your funds off the platform. Not yet. And they also halted trading on the CoinFLEX stablecoins, the FLEX USDs. So here we are again. The crypto sell-off in the companies with weak liquidity. Unfortunately, it's the retail investors that get hurt in these kinds of things. Now, last night, we were talking about Voyager. Voyager lent 3AC, Three Arrows Capital, a huge amount of money in Bitcoin and stablecoin, $661 million worth. Well, after taking a gander at what's going on at old 3AC, Voyager got nervous. They sent 3AC a notice that they wanted to get paid $25 million by the close of business on Friday and close of business on Monday for the rest. They said they didn't know how much money, if any money, that they were going to be able to get back from 3AC. And so they took out a loan, a $200 million bailout in the form of a line of credit issued by the FTX CEO, one Sam Bankman-Fried. At the time of writing, the global crypto market cap is $919.54 billion. It's up 3.64% in 24 hours. The top 5 cryptos by market cap are Bitcoin up 4.41%, Ethereum up 7.55%, Tether, USDC, and Binance Coin up 6.45%. So now I'm wondering how happy SBF is with Voyager, because they're still looking a little unhealthy. They look like they've got broke-itis. Now here's why I say that. Because even after getting $200 million in loans, it looks like they're still struggling. And so it was to that end that Voyager Digital cut the daily withdrawal limit. Now, they've always had a limit, but up until today, you could only take out up to $25,000 per day. Now it's 10. That's a 60% cut in the maximum amount of your money that you can take out of your own money. On the other hand, you agreed to it. You agreed to it the moment you agreed to those terms and conditions. You agreed to let them relend your money out to someone else without telling you, and that's called rehypothecation. And you agreed to let them hold on to your money. Under those terms and conditions, they get to choose how much of your money you can get back and when. Which makes me wonder, was slashing the withdrawal rates part of the conditions that Sam put on the bailout? Is it his team's belief that that's going to keep the company afloat? I ask because he does have a vested interest in seeing Voyager succeed. I mean, he did before, but even more now. Because now, he is their largest shareholder. That's right. About a week ago, an early warning notice was filed. And the subject? Sam had personally purchased almost 15 million shares. So that's 15 million that Sam owns. Well, apparently, Alameda Research also got some shares out of the deal. Now, the whole thing comes to a total of 22.6 million shares, which means Sam, both through his personal holdings and through Alameda Research, controls the most shares, 11.56%. According to Yahoo Finance, the next highest institutional holder is Bank Fund's company with 0.21%. The largest mutual fund is Amplify Transformational Data Sharing ETF, and they have 1.45%. In fact, the total number of all shares owned by institutional investors that aren't Alameda or SBF comes to 8.21%, which means SBF controls more shares than all the other institutions combined. That 22.6 million shares represents 1/3 of the current float. And it looks like Sam likes to collect exchanges. In April, FTX closed the completion of acquiring the Japanese crypto exchange Liquid. Now, in funny kind of crypto fixes this kind of way, the acquisition was delayed significantly. Apparently, some of the shareholders hadn't received their money until the beginning of May, so it wasn't announced till then. Liquid CEO Mike Kayamori explained, quote, "There were some human errors. The delays showed that the existing international wire transfer system is fundamentally broken, and crypto stablecoins can solve this problem." So, Liquid gets renamed to FTX Japan, and then FTX Singapore when they get a license from the Monetary Authority of Singapore, and Sam gets a new exchange. And then there's Bitvo. Yeah, another one. Another exchange getting bought up by FTX. Now, the deal isn't closed yet, but they're working on it. Unlike Liquid, Bitvo is based in Canada, which we're going to talk about Canada in a bit here. So last week, FTX Trading Limited announced that they plan on acquiring Bitvo. This is part of their plan. They want to expand services and products, making them available to Canadian users. Expected to close in the third quarter of this year, that's conditional. The company said it was, quote, subject to regulatory approval and customary closing conditions. At the time, SBF said, quote, "We are delighted to enter the Canadian marketplace and continue to expand FTX's global reach. Our expansion into Canada is another step in proactively working with cryptocurrency regulators in different geographies across the globe." Now think about this. You've got Gemini, Crypto.com, Coinbase, all exchanges, all laying off huge chunks of people. Look at how many people that Coinbase is laying off alone. And then on the other side, you got Sam announcing that FTX wasn't laying people off. In fact, they were continuing to hire. And that's probably a good thing for the citizens of Canada too, especially Ontario, because now Ontario is down in exchange. That's right. One of the crypto exchanges has left the Canadian Ontario crypto market for good. The global NFT market cap is up over $12.24 billion. Sales volume is down 2.5% in 24 hours. According to CoinMarketCap, the top 5 NFT collections by sales volume are CryptoPunks, followed by Bored Apes, Doodles, Goblin Town, and Lonely Pop. Now keep in mind, some of these collections have very volatile prices, so do your own research. Jeff Kehoe is the Ontario Securities Commission Director of Enforcement. He said, quote, foreign crypto asset trading platforms that want to operate in Ontario must play by the rules or face enforcement action. The outcomes announced today should serve as a clear indication that we refuse to tolerate non-compliance with Ontario securities law. So while they weren't banned by choice, it was entirely under their control. And we're talking about KuCoin. That's right, KuCoin has been permanently banned from Ontario's capital markets. Yeah, on Wednesday, the Ontario Securities Commission announced that they had orders, and those orders were to ban KuCoin from Ontario's capital markets and then fine them more than 1.6 million Canadian dollars. And it's entirely under their control because they chose not to comply. Back in March of last year, the OSC issued a deadline. All crypto firms had to get registered to be in compliance with securities law by April. KuCoin didn't do that. And then they compounded issues because after KuCoin failed to meet the deadline, hearings began, proceedings began, enforcement actions began, and the government couldn't get KuCoin on the phone. KuCoin apparently was not very cooperative with investigators, and that's why KuCoin is now banned from operating in Ontario. And I know that's why they were banned because they weren't the only one. Bybit too. You see, Bybit also failed to get registered by the April deadline. Bybit was fined more than KuCoin, roughly 2.6 million Canadian versus the 1.6 million for KuCoin. And they were charged with selling securities while unregistered, just like KuCoin. The difference is, Bybit, they can keep on earning. They weren't kicked out of Ontario. The OSC said it was because Bybit cooperated with authorities following the enforcement action, provided the necessary information, and was working towards registering the company. Now, they're not registered yet, so Bybit isn't taking on any new Ontario customers, and they can't offer any new products to any residents of Ontario. And further, they're not allowed to do any marketing in the province, but they can still work. They can still get registered and they can still get legal to work in Ontario. Seems like it'd be worth it to have just cooperated, but that's my opinion. Looking beyond that, we have Binance, because while FTX is happy to help failing crypto lenders and exchanges out, Binance isn't in the same place. Generally speaking, Binance has no appetite to support, quote, bad and failed crypto projects. They mentioned 3 signs a project shouldn't be bailed out if they're, quote, poorly designed, poorly managed, or poorly operated. The post said, quote, don't perpetuate bad companies. Let them fail. Let other, better projects take their place, and they will. And to be clear, not all exchanges. According to Binance, some are worth saving if they made small mistakes. They said, quote, they are either too aggressive on spending, have insufficient reserves, or other minor fixable problems. These projects usually have some good qualities: product market fit, generating revenue in normal market conditions, sound business models, decent teams, etc. And our final stop on this whirlwind tour of crypto exchange news is Coinbase. For a lot of people, Coinbase is their first exchange, which is a pity because Coinbase has another option, Coinbase Pro. And while I say has, pretty soon it's going to be had, although the Pro Trader version isn't dead yet. But it's expected that Coinbase is going to sunset them by the end of this year. Now here's the story. Bifurcation. Because lots and lots of people came into crypto trading on Coinbase. Coinbase Pro is a completely separate thing. Now it has advanced trading features, and those features are migrating to Coinbase. And this really needs to be done in an effort to simplify things because they were separate. And that separation caused Coinbase customers to, quote, rely on Coinbase Pro and Coinbase.com for overlapping sets of features and often experience friction while transferring balances back and forth between the two products. To resolve this friction and offer customers the best of both worlds, we have rebuilt the full Coinbase Pro advanced trading experience within the Coinbase mobile app and Coinbase.com. As we continue to add more features to advanced trade on Coinbase, we will sunset Coinbase Pro later this year. Now, where all of this exchange activity goes, I don't know. Maybe Sam buys up all the exchanges. Maybe Ontario bans them all. Things have been crazy, so I'm not ruling anything out. I will say this. With money getting hard to come by and companies scrambling to grab every Satoshi they can, I think it's going to be a wild crypto bear summer. And good luck to us all. So we're continuing on with the news segment tonight. I'll keep doing it for a while. It's called Crypto Job Watch. And again, as always, I am not endorsing a job or a company. I'm just offering a little help to someone who might need it. So this company is Bitwave, and they're looking for an event marketer. Now, Bitwave describes themselves as a rapidly growing startup that specializes in software for businesses that use digital assets and crypto. And they do accountancy type work, accounting, tax tracking, bookkeeping, things like that. And also full DeFi support. Now, the person that they're looking for will, quote, own the strategy, calendar, and execution of the events and webinar programs for customers and prospects to generate demand and convert pipeline across funnel stages. And there's more to it in the description, but that's the basics. They want someone with a bachelor's degree or 4 years of experience, as well as 2+ years of experience doing this kind of work, pushing the strategy and the execution of these kind of events. It's a fully remote job, and I have no sense of what the salary might be. But I do know that you can apply on Indeed.com today. The company's name is Bitwave, and they're looking for an event marketer. And that's going to do it for us tonight. I want to thank you, my listeners, because when you stop listening, I'll stop talking. Now, you stay safe out there. Watch out for yourselves, but watch out for each other too. We'll see you tomorrow night.